Hey folks, BlackCross here, and welcome back to another episode of the PlayStation 2 Legacy bonus content. I know it's weird, I'm doing 2 bonus contents in a row. I rarely do that, but there's a bunch of stuff that I actually wanted to talk about, plus I've been preoccupied and busy with other stuff, so might as well go ahead and build up the videos while I can. And I cannot believe it took me this long to finally get together and put this particular video of basically a buyer's guide video. I hadn't really done this before, and it's one of those things where it's kind of hard to actually do a quote-unquote buyer's guide because it changes every year. Every year it will always change, depending on how things go, depending on where the interest is and stuff like that. I mean, multiple people can tell you that retro collecting in genuine will change, you know. Sometimes there'll be a year or two where N64 is very collectible. In other cases, it will be the Xbox console and stuff. And the PlayStation 2 is no exception when it comes to popularity in terms of collecting. Especially due to how last year COVID happened, a lot of PlayStation 2s are going really quickly. In fact, for the past 2 months now, since Game Exchange has opened in my hometown, they have had 0 PlayStation 2s in stock. In fact, every single time they get one, it's usually gone within like the next few hours, they say. And it's like, dadgummit, my chances of getting a PlayStation 2 system is not easy. I mean, not to say that there's anything wrong with the current one that I'm using right now for the series. It's just, the thing is, it's not my PlayStation 2. I used a Slim for a while. It finally went kaput on me, and I wanted to get a fat PS2. And I've been using my brother's for a while, and I've been trying to get my own for a long while, and well, you get what I'm saying. The point is that I'm kind of stuck. But with that being said, I figured while I was looking at ways to get a PlayStation 2 fat system, why not go ahead and put together a kind of like a buyer's guide video for how to purchase a PlayStation 2 system and stuff. And I originally had some rules to go along with buying a PlayStation 2 system. However, though, due to the influx of COVID and everything, the price has not been the same that I originally came up with. So here's what I originally thought, and now, as we go and look into the list, that will change. So my original ideal is that for a complete system, the system has to have, obviously, the system itself, the box. You have to have the plug-in cord, the AV cords, and a controller. Memory card is optional, I feel like, but if it comes with a memory card, that is a bonus regardless. So that is the complete deal right there, is to get all of the cords and stuff. In my case, I wouldn't necessarily need all of it, just certain parts, you know, like the plug-in is mandatory, of course. Maybe even a memory card would be nice, since obviously I found out we only have like 2 memory cards. One of them that I use for storage, and the other one is the default memory card and everything like that. So there's that. And then of course I don't use an AV cord, I use an HDMI cord. But with that, even with that being said though, the biggest thing is that, you know, if you're looking for the full system and everything like that, what would be the price range? Originally, in my personal opinion, if you got all of that, $50 would be the most that you would want to pay for. In my personal thinking, you know, in my personal thoughts. If you can get less than $50, you're in the clear. You go ahead and buy it, you know? And really, that had not changed for the past couple of years until 2020, when COVID happened. And everybody was buying everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything, in duplicates even. And in some people's cases, it's even quadruple, in the hopes to resell them to other people at a higher profit margin. The bad thing is, though, is that there really isn't like a quote-unquote law that states you cannot resell, but at the same time is wrong that an individual would bulk buy something and then only resell it at a higher fraction price. To me, that's wrong, but again, due to the economical thing that people tend to throw out in the window and stuff like that, there is no quote-unquote law. It is not illegal. It's just frowned upon. And It is very frowned upon in my personal opinion, but that's aside the point. The point is that today we're going to try looking at some PlayStation 2 system and see where the actual margin should be. And as we'll find out, $50 is very hard to come by. So the first one we're going to look at real quickly is this one that is being sold for $69.95, $70 really when you round it up. Has shipping and handling for close to $23. Pretty pricey, but at the same time we do have all of the cords and even a memory card, as we can clearly see right here. So get what I'm saying whenever I say the phrase that $50 is no longer the normal high pricing that I would stick to, and as instead it's just now look towards a higher price range. Sadly, it's very, very high margin, sadly, unfortunately. And so when we look at this, it looks good. It's in good condition. The controller's in good condition, it looks like. The cords are fine and stuff, and even the system. Looking at the system as whole, it looks fine, really, in all honesty. It just, again, we're looking at a price range of, like, unfortunately, $70, and then add on an extra 30, you might as well say almost $100 here. But with that being said, the question is there anything else that we can look at? You know, hasn't been tested and stuff? Like, that is a big thing you gotta look for, is to make certain that it's actually been tested. Let's see, questions welcome. That's always a good thing to have. That way, if you do have a question, you can ask the seller and ask them, you know, if it works and stuff like that, you know. If there's any particular questions, or if there's any complications with the system that you feel like might be an issue and stuff. And like I said, normally I would stick with the idealization of like $50, but with how everything has been, if online is your only option, then I guess you may have to increase that method, sadly. But I would still try to stick to your guns as best as possible, and maybe you might find somebody that is willing to go for a better offer thing. Rarely that ever happens, but you never know. Sometimes it's worth looking at it. Okay, so here we have another PlayStation 2 console, fat version. This one says it's been tested, but here's the thing. It's only the console only. And everything looks fine, everything is clean, and even in the description it says here, optical laser, fan, grills, and heatsink clean. Now, not so much the heatsink, because, I mean, I don't see why you would want to clean that, but everything else, that's good to know. That means that the system is well taken care of and stuff like that. It has free shipping, so that's not a bad deal. But $75 practically. Cheaper than the last one we looked at. The downside is that obviously we don't have any of his cords. We're just relying on the fact that the system is put together clean and it works. And according to what it says, it's been tested. So I guess depending on your overall opinion, it would work for me technically. I would just need to get a plug-in cord for it, and then boom, I'm set. I'm done. But I don't know if it would be worth it for like the common person who's looking to buy a PlayStation 2 system. Now, if you're looking to replace your previous PlayStation 2 system that you have, then yeah, this would probably be a good option to have. It says it's clean and everything, and that it works. But if you're looking to get a PlayStation 2 with all of its cords, might not be the best option for everybody else out there. Here we have another one at $70, and it has its cords as well as an internet adapter. I personally don't see any reason to use them nowadays unless there's like a private server or something like that. I've heard people using private servers. I don't know how that works, but they do exist. I know because of like Final Fantasy 11. I think some of the Ratchet & Clank games also have private servers as well and stuff, so I guess that would make sense. But it's got the cords that you would need and an internet adapter, no memory card, but it's at $70. Shipping and handling, $14. So not as bad as the first one we looked at, and a little bit better, but at the same time, it's still pretty high on the price range, in my personal opinion. I mean, some of you, again, will look at this and be like, no, I think that's a pretty good deal. I guess it would be. It's just, again, it depends. And the biggest thing too, we also got to look at as well, has it been tested? Tested and works. Okay, so it has been tested and it works. So that's a good thing to have. So maybe $70 might not be a bad deal for someone, especially if they're looking for a PlayStation 2 system. Now this here is where we get into some dangerous waters. And I say dangerous waters because of what we're about to look at. What we see here is a stack of PlayStation 2 systems. Just a stack of them, okay? Now, according to what it says here, Sony PS2, PlayStation 2, OG, Black Console, variant model, blah blah blah. Free shipping. Now, if we're to assume just by looking at the picture, we get one console. One console. Each one has a different model number, which honestly, that doesn't matter. I mean, maybe some people might care about that, but to me, it doesn't matter. The biggest thing is that if it works. So let's see. Let's read here. Have they been tested? Tested and works with all colored disc black, purple, and silver. It's a good thing you mentioned that, because some people actually need to know about that. Things you need to know, the fact that the fat PS2 can read these multicolored discs easier. The slim tends to have a little bit of difficulty at times. But the fat has no issue whatsoever reading them. So that's good to know. Does it come with... Nope, it's only the console only. So in other words, it's $75, free shipping. It works, but it doesn't have any of the cords. So, much like with the first one we did look at, if you're looking just to replace your console, this is probably a good idea to have. But you do need to be careful when you do find these particular links that have multitudes of consoles just stacked up like that. No cords and everything like that. And again, $75. Again, I would have rather bought it just $50, maybe even $40 in some cases. At this rate in time, if prices are going to go up, then I guess you might as well bite the bullet. Or in my case, I'll have to bite the bullet. Because, yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. We got another PlayStation 2 console, has all of its wires, got controller, and it's $85. It may have been tested, and it's got all of its cords, but $85 and $16 for shipping and handling. That's, again, I guess we would have to raise our expectations now in terms of the pricing and stuff. Or lower expectations, I guess you would say. But at the same time, it's like, unfortunately, it's no better, sadly. And it's like, every single time we look for a system, I have not seen a $50 console. Not even if it's like, you know, just the console itself. You know, at least then I could say, you got me there. I mean, Record, this guy has a make an offer section. So, in other words, depending on how long this has been up and everything like that, maybe we can talk him down. Maybe we could get him to be like, hey, would you sell this for, like, say, $70 or something like that, you know? Now, Record, I've done this a couple of times, and very rarely does it ever succeed. Now, Record, it wasn't on just a console, it was on various of other items. But very rarely will I ever get a seller to say, yeah, I accept your deal. I don't understand why they use the make an offer option. If you have that there, wouldn't you want to like do like a counter offer or something like that? But for some reason, some people just don't want a counter offer. They just deny it because they feel like that they know the price. And it's like, yet you have a make an offer section. Why? Is it appealing to the eyes if there is a make an offer? And if it fails, they'll just buy it anyway? Part of me sincerely doubts that, since we found like over 100 possibilities for PlayStation 2 systems. So, you're not the only one selling a PlayStation 2 system, dude. You're not. Now, this is a bid only, so this could vary depending on your personal preference per se. But let's say, you know, for example, if for some reason this was a buy it now at like $80. We'll say it was a buy it now $80 type thing. We have two controllers. Good start so far. You have a memory card and the cords. Good start. The console, a little bit of wear and tear it looks like, but it looks like it's still in good condition. Take a look at the games and go from there. as you are collecting for the PlayStation 2, you need to look at the collection of games that are going to come with the system and determine if the price is right for you. Because if you are collecting PlayStation 2 games, you need to determine if you're collecting for a complete set, to which case this would be perfect. If not, maybe you're selective, in which case look at the games and see if any of them are the ones that you're looking for. Again, this varies depending on person to person, but my biggest rule that I would say is that for every game that has on there that you yourself want, reduce it by $5. That may be a small reduction, but in my personal opinion, if you can get it to a certain point where for every $5 game that you like, that you want to get, that will lower its options. So let's say, for example, you're a big fan of like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that. There's 3 Grand Theft Autos on this system right off the back. 3 Grand Theft Autos. So in other words, $15. So in other words, from where it was like 80, like I said, rough guessing, but if it was by now 80, reduce that, and automatically that's $65. And you got a second controller, so you might as well reduce that by a 10 extra bucks. So I mean, that's a pretty good deal. Record is a bid, so if you were to try to bid it right now, you might have to go through a number of cases where other people will be bidding just as well. This guy, however, though, has a make an offer. So depending on how long this bid has been around, or depending on what your first offer compared to a bid would be, maybe he'd be willing to break down. Maybe if you were to like, hey, I'm willing to buy it for just $90. Are we cool? And chances are he might be like, $90? Yeah, let's do it. You know? Never know. Again, look at the games, look at the system, look at what you're going to be getting, and determine if it's worth the price. Here we have another one, $115. Dear Lord Almighty. But instead of a normal controller, we have a wireless Mad Cast controller. Now, depending on who you are and how you feel about Mad Cast and stuff like that, that part doesn't matter. We don't have a standard controller, we have a wireless controller. So that's actually a plus right there, in my personal opinion. And depending on if it works, chances are it probably does work. I mean, it says here, tested. Why else would he be selling it and said it was tested? So, again, we can always scroll downward and see if there's anything else. You know, make certain it has any different things. Maybe he has a thing to where you can send him a message asking him, does it work? Does the controller work? So on and so forth. But then we can look at the games and determine if it's a good selection as well. And sadly, I can probably tell you right now that that's not a good list of games. Robin Hood, maybe. But you have a bunch of sports titles. You know, you have NCAA, you have High School Musical, NHL, NBA, Strike Force Bowling. So, I mean, again, selection games. I'm sure a lot of people have noticed the trend when it comes to shopping for a PlayStation 2 system. You have the console and everything like that, and the various of games that are available is mostly sports titles. I mean, you can get them easily for $1 each. So I guess depending on if you're looking for a complete collection or something like that, that may also vary for you as well. But at the same time, probably not worth the $115 plus shipping and handling, which would be $135 if you want to be more precise on that one. Now, we have here a pretty interesting selection here. We have ourselves an entire catalog of a PlayStation 2 set here. You know, you have the 2 controllers, memory card, cords, and according to what was stated, 14 games. This is a bid, but depending on the person's bid and depending on your offer that you want to make, this could be a good buy actually, especially if you're just starting collecting for the PlayStation 2. Right off the back, I can tell you, you've got a good selection of games here. I mean, minus the Guitar Heroes, which, I mean, they're not bad games. They're not. You can still play them on a normal controller. I'm sure some people would prefer playing it on the actual guitar controller. But aside from that, you got God of War 2, Grand Theft Auto, Tony Hawk. I know a lot of people love that. 2 of them, actually. 2 Grand Theft Autos, Hitman, Simpsons game. So, I mean, you've got a pretty good selection so far. So, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... 7 games? That's, 35. So, if you were to give an offer for just $90 and get this is actually a good buy here, in my personal opinion. This is actually a really good buy here. We do want to make certain that it says that it's been tested and it works. Let's see. Tested. Fully working condition. Great. Awesome. So like I said, this would be a perfect selection for if you're just now starting on collecting for a PlayStation 2 system. So this is probably the best you're going to get if you're wanting to collect games and start off with getting a system and stuff. And in my personal opinion, yes, it's worth it. But if you're wanting to risk it and see if you can get it for less, which rarely happens, again, rarely happens, you can try. But I don't think it would work very well. I mean, we don't have to get specifically fat PS2 system. It's just the one that most people would want to get if you're collecting for a PlayStation 2 system. There is some, that, like the slim version right here, that's got it for like $39.99, $40. I mean, it's ending soon, so. But, it's the slim, it's got the plugins, it's even got, it's got the second cord. So it's not just the AV cord, it's the advanced one, so that's pretty good. So I guess depending on if you're getting the slim or the fat, maybe your options may vary. But as we can see, hang on, non-working, never mind. I just saw Japanese. Hang on, are we getting a Japanese PS2 system for only $40? And then we see that it's non-working. Never mind. There goes my hopes and dreams, folks. Not to say that I actually need a Japanese version PlayStation 2 system. I don't really have a Japanese game that I have. There may be some Japanese games that I would want to get, but do I have them? No, so I don't have a reason to need one, sadly, at the moment. But with that being said, though, that's my overall thoughts and opinions in regards to buying a PlayStation 2 system. Again, I have set rules. They do not work very well, though, for 2021, sadly. Maybe, who knows, I doubt it, but maybe they might go down in price a little bit. Maybe if things slow down for a while, they might go down and people's expectations will lower as well, which will be a good chance for you to go ahead and get these systems as well. If you're needing to get a PlayStation 2 system and you feel comfortable ordering them from eBay and stuff, this would be the best option. But if you don't feel comfortable about it and you feel like you can get it cheaper, definitely wait it out. You never know. Always go to your mom and pop shops, retro shops, and stuff like that. Even a pawn shop, which I wouldn't recommend mostly. But if you feel like you have to, you can. Just check around your local community and stuff like that and see what you can find. Or do what most people would do and post on Facebook and stuff saying, hey, I'm looking to buy a PlayStation 2 system. I'm willing to pay $50 right off the back. Do you have one? And if they have one and they're willing to sell some games along with it to sell it more and stuff like that, vary your options, vary your ideals and stuff like that, and you can get an ideal assumption of what you think you might be able to get in regards to buying a PlayStation 2 system. If I could tell you that Sony will eventually do this for the PS5, but sadly, no announcement has been made, much to my dismay and displeasurement. Seriously, Sony, if you were to just do something, an update or an app application that allows players to play PlayStation games on the PlayStation 5, then again, you're still having trouble trying to make PlayStation 5s at this current moment in time. So, maybe that might be a little bit too soon to ask, right? I don't know, I still want to ask for that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below, was this helpful for you guys? Do you kind of have a clearer idea of what the price might be in regards to getting a PlayStation 2? Do you feel comfortable with it? Do you feel like as if maybe you might want to wait a little bit longer? Who knows? That's my opinion. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Catch you guys later.